definitely don't waste. Cool. Let me switch your my server. Oh, it's 12. We got it. Can Zoom hear me all right? I should be unmuted. Hello. Okay, epic.
Press.
That's unfortunate.
One more year left.
All right, gamers, let's get this started. So again, welcome to one of the first general technical workshops we have at SWIP. So these Tuesday lectures are mainly supposed to be lecture-based. So I'm just giving you tools and like interesting scenarios. I'll be talking a lot, but not that much. And then I'll probably leave some time so you guys can get registered for the CTF and start it. And if you have any time until Friday to do it. So on Friday, you can ask me questions. I'll go more into it later. But yeah, so this week we'll be doing open source intelligence, basically looking at any information that is publicly available in the internet. This is really interesting because some information on the internet is not supposed to be there. And how do you figure out what kind of information is not supposed to be there and how do you find it, right? So I'll be going over tools to do that and stuff like that. And then we'll throw you into a fictional environment of multiple people, fictitious characters I've created to sort of mimic like leaking data that you're not supposed to and how that can be harmful to a business. But yeah, I'm joined here today with my VP of Operations, Jimmy Ping. Hello, everyone. Hi, Jimmy. Everyone say hi to Jimmy. Very cool, very cool. Yeah, we're really excited to bring this to you. So first, some announcements. So I have finally fixed membership. So now you can become a paid member. It should be on the link tree. I believe it's like $35 for like, thank you. $35 for like the year or something like that. But again, in order to be a paid member, what you get with the paid membership is basically our alumni mentorship program, where we pair you with an actual alumni. So this year we're kind of doing it different. We actually have a database we'll give you of alumni, like descriptions and bios and stuff, and you actually go out and reach out to them and sort of do icebreakers with them, and we match you according based to that. Megan will mainly be facilitating that, but that's the main appeal of being a paid member, as well as helping support us. But you also get t-shirts, stickers, webcams, and stuff. We have a lot of extra t-shirts that we have no use for. Yeah, you get prizes, like sometimes we give away Raspberry Pis and stuff, but yeah. Oh yeah, it says right there, 20th semester at $35 a year. And that's on the link tree. Everything's on the link tree. But yeah, so I'll go ahead and get started. I already kind of gave my tidbit about open source intelligence. Sort of, it's a lot of Googling, right? It's a lot of clicking around to seeing what you can find on someone and then connecting the dots from there. It'll make more sense as I show you some examples, but yeah, so this is the agenda for today. Again, I'm probably going to speed run these first two sections to get to the demo. I'll walk you through how to register for the CTF and how to get started with it and start solving challenges, right? And also the lore behind it, because I spent a lot of time on the lore. Yeah. So what is open source intelligence? Again, I'm going out onto the public internet, finding information that's not supposed to be there, right? So this is very basic cybersecurity concept, and it's very good for beginners too, because you start getting into that security mindset, right? Because like if you put like a PDF out there of like some of like where you live and stuff, like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that. yeah, it gets you into that mindset of being kind of paranoid of what you put on the internet and like how someone can go out and look for it. But yeah, so this is kind of the cyber attack cycle. So open source intelligence goes into the reconnaissance where you're basically gathering information. And that's really all what OSINT is, right? You're gathering information on someone so you can better make decisions on how to exploit them, right? There's a lot of information out there that you can use. And the more you're aware of that person, like what they do, where they work, like what kind of bus they take or like what kind of credit card they use, you could do a lot with it, right? And then from there, you go into the other attacks, which is like exploitation. Actually, once you have all that information, how do you exploit it to actually get stuff from them, right? You can like social engineer them or trick them into clicking a link or something like that. And then you just sort of, after your exploitation, you go into this wheel of like persisting, escalating, pivoting within that environment. You don't really need to know this for this week. Just know that this week is mainly gathering information based on a fictitious environment that I gave you and connecting the dots of like who's related to who and how can you sort of attack based off of that. And then you report it. Yes. So why practice OSINT? Again, it's integral to information gathering. Having really good OSINT skills will help you connect the dots a lot clearer, and having you have a clearer picture of what you're doing is a lot better, especially if you want to exploit someone. For example, if someone's like posting a bunch of stuff on Reddit, you can see like their comments and see like what kind of mental state they're in, right? And then from there, you can kind of pursue something that might trick them into clicking something based on their mental state. It's somewhat neglected. It's not the most glorifying thing, but it is necessary if you want to gather information. It's a good general skill to have, right? Being able to Google stuff you don't know about, especially with some of the challenges I have, I expect you to Google. There will be hints. The hints are free, but try to use your own like sort of thinking and security mindset to figure out these challenges. A lot of these challenges you can think of the perspective of your target, right? So if you're trying to look for like, where did someone go to school, right? Where would they post that? Would they post that on Instagram? They could post it on Instagram, right? But it's more likely to post it on LinkedIn or their resume, somewhere where they can impress an employer. And that goes the same for like their GitHub, right? Where would they post their public GitHub? You would look at their LinkedIn, right? It's not likely they would put it on their Instagram. But you can also ask the question of like, where did they go to vacation? Like, of course, they would post that on their Instagram, right? So think in the perspective and the mindset of the target. And that's how you can gather more information on them. So lateral thinking puzzle, I went over this last time, but I don't think I'm going to go over it this time around. So we'll be going more into like OSINT tools, and you won't be using all these tools for the CTF, but these are good to know if you wanted to do get the general idea of how you want to find public information on the internet. So again, respect others' privacy. Please don't do this on real people and like use it for harm. Keep it legal and respect people's privacy. Don't actively try to like pursue them. You should question your friendship if they do. Yeah, be respectful. So the first one is Google dorking. This is just simple Google. You can actually search for specific websites. You can look for specific file types. For example, I could put starbucks.com on here, and then I can do a file type of PDF, and that can actually get me recipes of some of their drinks. Or not recipes, but some like documents, some policy documents, stuff that I'm not supposed to have access to. That kind of stuff is really interesting, especially if you're looking for like Google Docs of someone, of like a particular document that you want. And then simple like add, exclude, or combine functions go along with that as well. Social media usernames with the @ people use social media names across multiple social media accounts. So if you get one of one account, you can use it for multiple. For example, if they have it for their Twitter, it could be possible they use it for their Instagram. So there you can use it for their Instagram. Quoted text, it searches for that exact string. So exactly everything inside those quotes it will search for. I'll provide these slides in the announcement once I send it out. But again, you don't really need these slides for the CTF. It's more of just your general knowledge and getting you into the mindset of like how to search for stuff. How do you get in the perspective of the target? But yeah, so again, files, you could do sites.google.com and look for PDFs there, and then search for like specific types of content that might be in that Google Docs. Reverse image search is actually really interesting. Only you're going to be using for the CTF is images.google.com to reverse image search, and then you can see basically where that picture was taken. So for example, if someone posted a picture on Instagram of them like on vacation, you could take that image and put it into Google and find out like exactly where they are. There's other resources for that as well. And then we're not going to be doing steganography. The CTF doesn't really go much into depth about it. Again, we're mainly going to be clicking around and seeing what we can find on people. But yeah, and then metadata is actually data of data, right? Document metadata, you can go to extractmetadata.com, or if you're on Windows, you can right click the document and then properties, and then you can see like the exact coordinates where that picture was taken, who took it, the camera model, stuff like that. That's really good to know. So, like more information about them, what kind of camera they use, you might be able to tell what kind of person they are from that. But yeah. So archive pages is probably one of the tools you'll be using again. So you can view past versions of sites. So this is interesting in that if someone wants to change up the website like a whole lot, they can actually take a snapshot of it on archive pages, and you can actually go back and see it. So once you actually change everything in the website, if you go to archive pages, you can see the previous pages before that. This is really interesting because if someone were to break into your website and deface it, you can actually take a snapshot of it before they fix it, so that it's there forever. And you can kind of see that way with like Twitter or like even websites. There's multiple ways, multiple sites that you can use this with. But again, it's never truly deleted if someone takes the measures to actually keep it alive. So yeah, again, it's once posted in the internet. The links are here too. You can easily search it up, like view past versions of websites on Google and get it there too.
Yes.
Very cool.
Thank you, Jacob. Okay, so moving on to more tools that you probably wouldn't need in the CTF, but are good tools to know for your general OSINT knowledge. So starting with people, if you're a stalker, this is kind of a good place to start. You have your general searches for social networks through usernames, which could also correlate to first and last names as well, and contact information. This could be through user search or PQ. And there's also sites like Docspin that if people want to dox someone and publish their personal information, you could go there, search for their name, and see what information people are posting about them. Also, there's Family Tree Now, which is a site basically to find family trees and family members and relatives to further investigate a person or a specific family. Onto IP addresses. This is more into threat intelligence and seeing what's hosted on an IP or a certain domain. Starting off with domain tools, we could do Whois lookups, which provides basic information about the registrar, the domain, what's hosted on there, and IPs that are also on that domain or that host that domain. There's also tools like VirusTotal, which provides kind of like a reputation checker for IPs or domains. So for example, you could type in like a file or a URL or a domain, and it'll basically check it against a lot of security vendors. So it would flag like, let's say like you check Google or something, that would probably not get flagged by any security vendors. But if you come across a malicious IP, it'll probably be like 10 out of 20 security vendors mark this as malicious. That's a good way to kind of have a general idea of what the community thinks of a certain IP or domain, just to get a general idea. There's also ways to find locations of IPs and more info like domains that are hosted on the IPs from viewdns.info as well. Okay, so onto email addresses. This could be important for phishing if you want to see what emails are out there for a company to have potential targets for a phishing campaign. So first we have a LinkedIn email scraper from getprospect.com. It basically scrapes through the contact information of LinkedIn profiles and returns email addresses. This could be combined with finding email formats by emailformat.com, which basically reveals how a company formats emails based on publicly seen emails from that certain company. So if you're trying to do a phishing campaign or something, email format is a good way to kind of find the how the emails are formatted, so you could apply it to other people that you might not have emails for originally. There are also tools like hunter.io, which basically verifies if an email is up, if it could send and receive emails and stuff like that, just to see if it's still active and being used. Also going the other way, you could use thatsthem.com, which you could put an email in, and then you could find more information like their first and last name or other contact information as well. So like Jacob was mentioning before, social media and social media posts are a really big part of OSINT. If you want to find, say like whether you went to vacation or any other kind of personal data that they might not intend to leak, you could look at their images, their posts, their connections. And it's also a good way to kind of connect the dots like Jacob was saying, and kind of see how the people are related for maybe a certain company or just a network of people or a community. Okay, lastly, we have usernames. So as mentioned before, you could search usernames from PQ and also that username search from before. You could also use Namevine to search usernames through social media sites. So the way Namevine works is you could type in a username or something, and it'll basically check for top social media sites, seeing what's available and what's taken. This is useful if you want to create a unique username or a unique domain. Namevine is a good place to go to see those available domain names or usernames on these sites. Okay, so if some of this stuff scares you, we do have protection. So to protect yourselves, we have the California Consumer Privacy Act, which basically says that we have the permission to know what data is being collected from companies, and also the permission to remove our data from these kind of sketchy sites. It is kind of hard though. If you try to remove your information, it's not likely that it'll be completely gone. There's so many of these sites, so many different databases of information that it's kind of a lost cause, but it's still out there. All right, onto our demo.
Very cool. Thank you, Jimmy. So this is kind of where I start giving you guys the gist of the CTF. So as you may know, it's about terrestrial weapons, and I'll go more into the lore. If you want to register now, you can go to ctf.calpolyswift.org. It's just a subdomain that we have, and it should link to the CTFD platform. And I'll show that again later, but I think some context is needed. So this scenario is basically based off the orbital weapons lore, which was the CPTC tryout scenario in 2021. I had too much time on my hands, so I made this. But basically orbital weapons is a space company that basically creates weapons for like space, right? Weapons like as easy as like Uber, like you just click a button and you get a weapon in space. And basically for the CPTCs are collegiate penetration testing competition. The scenario is basically we had to break into their environment and write a report on that. And one of the pen testers, Dylan Tran, misfired a desolator cannon, destroying orbital weapons HQ. So after that desolation of HQ, there was mysteriously, there was a new company called Terrestrial Weapons. And it kind of became dedicated to extraterrestrial defense. So basically the opposite of orbital weapons because of those shenanigans. And as you can see, Chet Apachart, you're enlisted by Chet Apachart, the CTO of orbital weapons. Yeah, all these people are fake, by the way. Is recruiting you to determine whether terrestrial weapons has any downfall to orbital weapons. And you're basically going to find the connection on that and show proof. And I don't know how, but I made 37 challenges based off of this. So yeah, so what you'll learn basically, basic recon on the site, you'll be clicking around on like social media accounts, trying to find relationships between people, see if there's anything suspicious, if they leaked anything about their company. And also they have an internal Discord server you'll break into and actually escalate through. I've kind of spoiled too much, but yeah, it's a lot of basic stuff in the beginning, but then it gets kind of more intricate and complex, such as reverse image searching, and then we actually have a chatbot that we built, which you can interact with. Don't ask it its favorite dinosaur, but it's basically an internal wiki for terrestrial weapons. And what you can do, you can interact with it, ask it questions about terrestrial weapons. The only problem is the wiki has sensitive info, such as like how like the phone numbers, credit card policies, security policies that you have to trick it into giving up because the chatbot was given instructions not to give that up. So you'll have to find ways to bypass that and get information through that. And then we have S3 bucket naming schemes. I'll go more over that on Friday. The S3 bucket stuff, if you don't know, an S3 bucket is on AWS, Amazon Web Server. It's a cloud platform that we can basically loan devices from other data centers and use it for ourselves. And S3 bucket is just storing it in the cloud, basically. And S3 buckets are important because everyone stores everything in an S3 bucket. So if you know the name of it, you can actually get into the S3 bucket if it's not configured correctly and dump items from it, any sensitive info. So that's a lot. Again, the CTF is at ctf.calpolyswift.org. I don't expect you to go through all of this before Friday. I hope no one goes through all of this before Friday. So I have a lot to talk about, but the Friday workshop is meant to walk through all those challenges, see the thought process, and see the relationships between the fictional environment that I made. Yeah, and also how I made the chatbot, how I made it vulnerable, and the S3 buckets. But yeah, I think that's it. So again, real quick, I'll go over the CTF. Again, if you haven't signed in, go to the link tree and join our Discord and become a member if you want. So here are some more OSINT sites for CTFs. There's OSINT Dojos, Juice OSINT. I've only done like 2 of these, but these are good resources if you want to tackle it. But I feel like my CTF is a little bit easier than these. And I put a lot of lore into it, but yeah, I think that's it for now. Oh, and if you saw this guy pop up like in the corner of the slides, that's Lawrence Kim. He is very real. He is not fake. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the slides. Does anyone have any questions before I continue? Yes, Vinny. Yes, so I'll go into like how the order should be because CTF didn't let me order the challenges. So can you see that right? All right, cool. So if I go to ctf.calpolyswift.org, you see this is the CTF platform we'll be using. You can see the user scoreboard and challenges here. I don't think, okay, yeah, you can see the challenges. So first, if you're like totally brand new, I go to initial recon and then go to origin 0. So they're numbered in the way that you're supposed to do them. You can jump around if you want, but start from 0 on initial recon. You can also do the chatbot stuff too first. Kind of 2 different paths, but they kind of connect. But yeah, I would start with initial recon 0, origin 0, because that tells you the scenario and the flag format. Yeah. Any more questions? Is everyone able to see this? Sorry? Type in ctf.calpolyswift.org. Any more questions before I continue? Anyone need help getting to here? Okay, very cool. So I'll do some of the challenges in each. So if you go to origin 0, it tells you basically the scenario and how to format the flag. So every answer that you're given will be encapsulated by TW and then the brackets. So as you can see here, it's saying to use this format. And hints will provide like more context in what you're supposed to do. They can also link articles of tools that you may have to use. Oh dang, our free Zoom ends in 10 minutes. Okay. Oh, no, you're good. Yeah, I'll go over this real quickly. But yeah, that's so when you get an answer, like for example, what state was terrestrial weapons founded? You would do TW, the brackets, and then the state, right? It's supposed to be case insensitive, but copy it directly on how it's like said and like where you found it, basically. Everything that you find you should be able to copy paste it into the flag. So there should be no problems with like case insensitivity. Yes. But but yeah, so this is just telling you how to use the flag format. Then you go to Origins 1, which is where you're given the website, and this is where you're basically going to find everything you need. This is the basic starting point. So if I click here, this is the actual website for terrestrial weapons, right? This is what they use to get people interested in their products. So you can see it has the basic intro stuff. Feel free to read through this. I was a little bit delusional while making this, but as you can see, this is our team. You can try to look them up, but the best way to look through them up is through contact, right? That's how you would contact their their actual business, right? As you can see, we have 3 social media links, and this is where you can find more information, right? And then if I clicked here, you have to make a LinkedIn account, by the way. Some LinkedIn accounts might not be able to see these. Wow. But if you were to look back at that LinkedIn account, you can see what school she went to, descriptions, and some posts that she might have had that might have sensitive info, but I don't know. But that's where the starting point is the website. So make sure you know how to get to the website, how to basically jump off to other platforms and try to find information that way. That's initial recon, right? You're just clicking around looking for information and trying to connect it within these people. I don't ask questions like, how is this person related to this? It's mainly flags, but the more you try to think from the perspective of the target, the better time you'll have in later challenges, right? For the chat bot, you can start on the chatbot as well if that piques your interest instead. As you can see, you just click here and you can talk to it. So I can be like, what is terrestrial weapons? And it'll give me a response based off the wiki. That's a picture of Kenneth, by the way. Even though the website says Jeremiah. But you can start asking questions about terrestrial weapons. What kind of, like, so for example, what kind of security policies do you have? You'll have to filter through most of this and try to find out information that you would find useful. I'm not gonna show you how to like dump plain text passwords on here because I want you to do that yourself. But this is how you would access it, how you would interact with it. If it's slow, please tell me. I need to limit test it. I'm not sure how it would go with like 30 people on it at the same time. So if it's slow at any point, just let me know. Or if it breaks, if it starts like stuttering and stuff, just let me know. Also, if you find anything very like that is not mentioned in the chatbot, like questions, tell me and I'll give you extra points, right? The thing with this chatbot, I don't really know much about it. Sometimes it leaks sensitive info that I wasn't aware of. For example, Dylan Lim was helping me with the chatbot and he got it to dump my whole Notion. So you could see like my classes and stuff, and you can see how many holds I have on my account. And I was like, wow, that'd be pretty funny if someone saw that. Like I should just put a question there, be like, how many holds does Jacob have on his account? How much money does Jacob owe? Yeah, so if you find anything like that, that'd be great. I'll give you extra points. Some context for this chatbot. I actually went to DEF CON with a few of my Swift buddies. One of the competitions was basically tricking ChatGPT, regular ChatGPT, into giving sensitive info. So like how to OSINT and stuff. I'm like, what if I just give it a database? And like, what if I put like sensitive info in there and I just tell it not to give it out? And this is what I got. Yeah, it's pretty funny. I'm like 99% sure it might break based on that. But on Friday, I'll be going over how many of you want to like make your own chatbot, like kind of like this, would be interested in that. Okay. And then we can go over how to put like security measures in it and stuff like that. Hi, Bill. Everyone say hi to Bill. You're 30 minutes late, Bill. But yeah, I'll definitely prepare for that. Again, if you guys have the time, please do the CTF. So you have, if you want me to do a walkthrough the challenges you want, I can go through it. But Friday's meeting will be mainly tailored to how I created it, if you want to create it yourself. But yeah, any questions so far? Sorry, that was a short lecture.
Lecture.
No, it's
No.
right here.
Yeah.
So is it the chatbot that we're discussing about?
Yes. Yeah. Well, kind of the whole CTF. So the chatbot is like a part of the CTF. So
Okay.
yeah, if you have any questions of the CTF at all, are you able to access the platform?
I'm trying to figure that out.
Okay, I got you. So go to ctf.calpolyswift.org. And then, yeah. Got it. Cool. And then you would just register through. Why am I? Yeah, you would just register here and then I think you need a valid email. But Discord handle is just for me, just so I can reach out to you if you win. I'm not sure if we're gonna give out a prize to the first place winner. If there was a prize, what would you guys want?
Those
Do you-
existing-
Orbital weapon stickers?
No, we have it.
I'll include you in the lore. Because there's a lot more. Yeah, there's a doc out there where I just like ramble on about terrestrial and orbital weapons. If you can find it, I'll give you extra points. But yeah, any other questions before we end here? Anyone need help with the CTM platform? Anyone on an iPad that's trying to access the, if you need a laptop, we have some extras, but I don't know if I can. Okay, never mind. It's easier on a laptop than an iPad, but you can still do it on an iPad. I'm not gonna stop you. Any more questions? Any questions about membership or like Swift? Very cool. Yes, Sydney. There's 2 pages. That's crazy. The top one probably. Does it, when you click on the Eventbrite, does it say 2023? Okay, but yeah, you guys can start on the workshop. I do have to kick everyone out.
Wait, what's this?
There's 2 membership links.
Oh, there's an annual one and there's just.
Oh. Zoom, is everyone okay?
Are you?
All right, Zoom, let me know if you have any questions, just reach out to